Welcome back to your weekly roundup of everything that happened in Zenless Zone Zero, where we will cover everything that you missed inside and outside of the game. This week we had a lot shown off for what we can expect with regards to the future of Zenless Zone Zero. So buckle up and get ready to hold on to your polychromes before they go flying away. Starting off with in-game news though, it is the final 10 days of patch 1.6, since patch 1.7 will be arriving on the 23rd of April next Wednesday. And to start off, patch 1.7 will be the new banners featuring Vivian as well as Piper and Seth as the A ranks, but also Jane Doe will be the rerun banner in the first half of patch 1.7. Meanwhile, the second half will feature Hugo Vlad as the main banner, with Lighter as the rerun banner. And then Sokaku and Anton will be the A ranks for that second half. If you would like to know more about the various events and story beats that will be in patch 1.7, I do have a recap video going over the dev livestream that happened last week on Friday. But as a TLDR, the next patch will be the second half of the epilogue of Season 1, but seemingly with no other agent stories or whatnot. It is possible that a Vivian agent story is going to be sort of tied into the actual main story though, so maybe there will be a little bit more beefy of a story within patch 1.7. But otherwise though, the events in patch 1.7 are for the most part going to be events that we've had in the past, just being rehashed and used again, but with a new coat of paint this time around. Honestly, outside of the main story, patch 1.7 seems a little bit kind of lackluster, but maybe that's because a lot of the developer efforts are being instead focused on delivering a banger patch 2.0. Although the one event that some of you might be excited for is the return of Bamboo Fall Guys, specifically with a ranked mode come 1.7. But enough about the future, let's talk about what is happening this week though in game. To help you prepare for the new agents, there will be a double drop event for combat simulation stages, letting you farm up all of the upgrade materials that you need for Vivian, Hugo, or either of the rerun banners. The double drops will run from Wednesday the 16th up until Monday the 21st, which, speaking of, friendly reminder that this weekend is Easter, so happy Easter for those who celebrate. But on this week's Good Friday, Deadly Assault will be resetting as usual, and this time around the bosses that you can expect are the Dead End Butcher's regular version, the Bringer Sacrifice, and the Unknown Corruption Complex, which is the multi-legged mech boss. Otherwise, with this being the last full week of the patch, as usual, things are of course winding down. So that is going to be it for in-game news. Next up is social media stuff, and this is where the big stuff starts to happen. We've already gone over the 1.7 patch livestream and rerun banners, but there is also a Twitter event to go along with the 1.7 teaser trailer, where as always, you can follow the official Zenless Zone Zero Twitter account and then repost the linked tweet in the description below for a chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card, an Xbox controller, or a Bamboo rug. The other big reveal on Friday was that Zenless Zone Zero will be releasing on Xbox Series S and X in June, likely coinciding with the patch 2.0 update. There will be an exclusive reward if you log in with an Xbox account once it is available, and that will be the in-game title, The Zenless, but spelled with an X. So honestly, I really hope that they don't call the game on Xbox Zenless Zone Zero but with all X's, because then otherwise my YouTube titles will look pretty weird if I have to change them from ZZZNews to, well, never mind. But if you can't wait until June though, there will be an early access test period for the Xbox version of the game. If you would like to participate, you will need to sign up by filling in the application form that is attached to the tweet that is linked in the description below. But speaking of patch 2.0 in June, and the entirety of Season 2 for that matter, yesterday there was a teaser trailer showing off Belle and Weiss all dripped out in their new outfits, and also a lot of new faces that we will be encountering from patch 2.0 all the way until patch 3.0. Now, we already know about Jufufu and Yishuan from the Yunhui Summit, but let's go over all of the potential new characters. First off, as mentioned in the dev talk last week, we will be meeting some more members of OBOL Squad, one of which is Seed, who looks like a giant mech, which, can I just say, is so badass. Ben Bigger is going to have some competition here, maybe for the biggest playable agent. But then we also have another Theren, possibly girl, because of her pointy ears and horns. She also has what looks like a high-tech or maybe even a cybernetic tail. Then coming back to the Yunhui Summit, aside from Jufufu and Yishuan, we also see a glimpse of a big friendly panda, who also looks to be a member of the faction, as we see him walking behind us as we follow Yishuan. And it also looks like there might be another new faction of characters shown off in the trailer, possibly some sort of hollow investigation team, consisting of quite a few Thirens. The first being a small rabbit girl with a big cleaver, what looks like a wolf Theren with a big sword, a small red-haired bratty girl who likes to tease others with her pet little raccoon thing, and another shy girl that honestly kind of reminds me of that one girl from the Jane trailer where they were driving that car, but obviously probably not the same girl, but a Theren nonetheless. There was also a male holo investigator that was next to the girl with the meat cleaver, but in the trailer they focus in on his face again when talking about greed leading to disaster. So it's hard to say for sure if this investigator guy is actually a good person or a bad person. But speaking of bad guys, we also get a small glimpse into what the Exaltus and Sarah are plotting. But right at the very end of the trailer, sitting on a pool of water, we see the reflection of an unknown girl, with no indication of who she is or what faction she belongs to. But maybe you could argue that the slight yellow clothes does sort of resemble the outfits of the Yunqui Summit. So maybe this could be a previous master of Yishuan, or maybe this is the real Void Hunter that we can expect later in Season 2. Now, notably, there were no signs of the idol girls anywhere in this Season 2 trailer, even though last week in the dev talk, there was explicit mention that the Angels of Delusion will be making an appearance, so that was a bit contradictory. But if I were to play devil's advocate for a second here, maybe you could argue that because we already know what the idols look like, there wasn't really a need to quote-unquote reveal them here in this trailer, and instead they wanted to focus on showing off brand new characters that we have never seen before. That being said, it's nice to see that within Season 2, the agents are slowly leaning back to what looks to be more unusual designs, with several Thirens and of course the star of the show, the big seed, a giant mech, as opposed to a string of regular women just in various degrees of sexy clothing that we've had as of late. But speaking of women in sexy clothing, I just want to take a moment to laugh at how the trailer really emphasizes the size of Yishuan's chest, not once, but twice in 2 different shots in the trailer. So if we were to assume that Season 2 also has 8 patches in total, from 2.0 up to 2.7, that means that there would be a minimum of 16 new S-rank characters. And in this trailer, we only saw 12 new faces. Add on to that the 3 Angels of Delusion, and that would make 15 new characters. So it is safe to say that these aren't the only characters that we will be getting throughout Season 2. And also, I would like to think that maybe not all of these characters will be S ranks either. Now, I know we only got 2 new A ranks in total throughout Season 1, but maybe the same trend will happen in Season 2 as well. So there could be 3 or 4 other characters that we could still be getting that were not shown off in this trailer. Who knows, maybe Mors and Bellum will join up just like Pulchra did. Hopefully though, they don't all join the Sons of Caledon, otherwise I think things would get a bit too crowded over there. But of course, as always, we can't tell for sure who any of these characters are or when each of them will be available. But it's nice to know what to expect so that we can all kind of start saving in the meantime. Personally, I am most excited for that OBOL squad duo, but what about you guys though? Let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, as always, thank you all for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this video, liking, commenting and subscribing is greatly appreciated. So, I will see you next time. Bye bye!